Okay, so here's our little friend Harley. We're continuing building on what we know. First rule, leash and collar always on when the dog is under your supervision. You don't have to be tethered to you, so when he pulls, you correct a little bit. And regardless of the distraction, phone's ringing, it doesn't matter. No tension on the leash. So all these behaviors start on a 6-foot leash. The other thing we talk about, the dog is always under our supervision, on a leash and collar. When you can't supervise him, you simply put him in a den. It could be a fancy den or not so fancy. You tell him to go place, he goes in. We leave this hanging out. The only time he gets a morsel of food, and that includes his dinner, is when he goes into his crate. However, we don't lure him in. You don't lure him in. I put him in, and then he gets his treat. So it's you give him the direction you want. If he doesn't do it, you correct, and then you give affection, or in this case, food reward. He doesn't bark, he doesn't howl. That leash and collar, the leash I should say, comes off obviously when you're not supervising him. But now he's in, and he's been very comfortable in there. There's been no accidents. This crate's, that's a good sized crate for him. It could actually be a tad smaller. But the point of the matter is there's no crying, there's none of that. And eventually, if you don't get sucked into his energy, he'll be fine. So now I go about my business and he's in there. People can come, I can make noise, there's construction going on. I don't have to worry about Harley at all. It's like putting a child in a crib. Same thing, same premise. We don't do it at predictable times. If you only do it when you got your jacket and shoes and you're going off to work, that's going to spike his anxiety level. If you only do it at bedtime, it's going to spike his, leave it. Now you saw his desire, this is what he did. He doesn't do it here, he just did it now. Leave it. I stop him from doing it. And if he didn't stop, I'd pick up my leash and physically correct him. So you got to be careful what you're projecting with the dog. Since he's been here, he sleeps in the crate, he's fine. When he starts to dig out, I correct him. Leave it. And how you correct is like that. So he understands that behavior is no good. So we correct bad behavior, correct, physically correct, not abusive, physically correct bad behavior. You physically praise good behavior. So I come down, now I'm going to open my crate, but he's not allowed out. So I correct. I correct. Not yelling, not screaming, not pointing, stop. What am I doing? He has an expectation to come out. All dogs, most dogs, open the door of the house, the door of your car, the door of the crate, they have an expectation to come out. So I have to slowly remove that expectation. You hear construction going on, dogs barking, this is all wonderful. We don't live in a sterile environment. And when he backs away from this, I'm going to let him out. I have my leash right here. Stop. Takes a little while. I'm not slamming his head. Be careful what you think you see. You may see something that's not happening. I'm not talking to the dog. He doesn't speak English. He speaks dog. So he has to subordinate, and right now he's got to subordinate to the door. This is how dogs run outdoors and get run over. So it's a process. It's a journey. We're up to about 3rd or 4th grade, if you want to use human terms. So he hasn't been taught correctly about this grade. And the problem comes in if you surrender to him, he's persistent. So if I finally say, okay, I'm late for work, I just got to let him out, I'm making a huge mistake. So now I close it instead. So if he thinks by pouring this, putting his paws and biting that, he gets out, that's no good. So he's training you. So you have to be into the dog's head psychologically. I open, and this takes a while, and we're going to work on this for 5 days. I don't want him here. Now I'm going to release him, and what can he do? He can come out, but he can't pull on the leash. Okay, good boy. So you see, so I set boundaries. What else can he do? He can't jump on people, Jackie.
Yes.
Just come over for a minute. So let's just say we're going to set him up for failure. So here's Jackie. Jackie's going to say hello.
Hi, Harley.
She's going to pet him. She's going to stand up high, and she's going to say the name, get him excited. But we're training him not to jump on people. So Harley, you pet the dog, praise. This is positive reinforcement, not shoving treats down his throat. You praise him, his 4 feet are on the ground, you correct bad behavior. Now I drop the leash and I go about my business. I ignore him, I make him invisible. He's invisible now, but I'm supervising him as I would a child. Now if I don't want him near the door, get back. Get back. He doesn't know any of these things. Now I pick up my leash. This looks a little funny, but I'm just setting a boundary that he doesn't know. He doesn't know many boundaries. Get back. So I'm not really leaving the house. I'm training him that this is inappropriate. So what he's doing with this door, he's in with the door of the crate. So he's got to learn that this is a dangerous behavior. Get back. So he can't come near the door. Period, end of story. I don't care if he sits or stays. I need him to stay away from this door, because running out that door will result in tragedy, perhaps. So we just got to learn it. All doors. Harley, what a good dog. Now he's away. Good boy. So I praise in the neutral area. Good boy. And that's our end of training today. We're moving him along quite nicely. Okay, so here it is, a cold winter morning. Here's Harley and me. We're walking. I turn, he turns. We're not in a sterile environment. There are squirrels, there's birds. The dog's on my left. He's walking with me. When I stop, so I have a nice confident face. I'm looking up. I'm not looking down. He's looking at me. I'm praising him. I turn, he turns. I gotta watch I don't trip over him. I go fast. He goes fast. So this is his position in the pack. I stop, I ask him, Harley, sit. I correct a little, sit. He has to sit when we stop, so this is a process. Left foot, the dog heels, I stop, he sits. I step out my left foot, he walks with me. There's no talking. The next step in this process is going to be teaching him to stay. So my left foot activates the walking, slowing down, activates the foot. Heel, there's a car coming, I gotta get out of the street, and we're walking very nice. The car can't distract him, just nice and relaxed. I stop, sit. Good boy, now I'm gonna put my leash at my left, here comes a car. That could be a squirrel, he didn't get up. I'm stepping out my right, telling him to stay. He's a little nervous now. The ground is shaking. There's a bus over there, trains back here. It's a very active street. Watch. I say stay, pivot out with my right foot. I come back, I step out my left, heel, and he walks. So I can stop talking in human and start talking dog. He's behind. This is where he always is. He's not to my right. He's not in front. He's where he is. I turn. I slow down. Sit. Here comes a car. I'm relaxed here. Relaxed. Pivot out my right. He doesn't move. Pivot. I don't move my left leg. It's stationary. I step out my left. Sit. Step out my left, and he moves. We're done for the day. Good work. Okay, so here we are again with our friend Harley. Now we're inside, so this mimics my house. What's going on? I just walk in. Good doggy, Harley. Good dog. I get low in the middle of the room, and if he wants to play, he'll be here. If not, now I have a mechanism to correct behavior, right? If he goes to jump or bark, I can play now. I set boundaries. He's a little nervous. That's fine, because this is the process. To teach him boundaries, he needs to connect the dots. So here I'm playing low, that's his praise. Good doggy, good dog. I play. Then when I stand up, he becomes invisible to me. Now I can mimic, like I said the other day, I don't want him near the, get back, good. He's got to learn not to come near the door. Now I'm going on my couch with my food. I'm just mimicking. Here's my food. So we look at everything. He's on the couch, what do? I just pick this up and I take them off. That was perfect. I want to set that boundary in my house. You can do whatever you want in your house. In my house, I don't want dogs. He just got a biscuit off the ground, which is fine. I don't want him on my couches because my guests want to sit there and eat their food without being harassed by a dog. So, again, this is a personal choice. I don't care where people, but in my house, the dog gets all his love. Here he comes. Good dog. Now he's harassing me for food. If I come to your house, if you invite me over for New Year's, I don't want to be harassed by Harley for my miniature hot dogs, okay? So here I am, and I'm lazy. I'm lazy. And this is mine, not his, right? You bought it, not Harley. I'm not saying this to be mean, but the only place he's going to get food, so here I am on my couch watching the football games, eating dog food. He's not crossing a boundary. If he does, what do? I don't yell, because he don't talk. He's crossing a boundary. Get back. And I teach him to get back. But I have the leash. Now I feel so bad that I want to give him some of my dog food. Yeah, it's very dry. So I want to go, where does he get it? Only in his den. Watch. Good dog, Harley. Good, baby. Go place. Go to, off he goes. Go to your place. Good dog. Go place. I step on the leash. He's nervous. I put him in. Good dog. He gets his food. So what am I teaching? Very simple. Food comes here. Love comes here. Physical praise. The physical praise is more important. That's really positive reinforcement. Giving him food is not, the word is positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is love, isn't it? With your children or nieces, nephews, you encourage him. He's in there. Remember the other day he was looking to come out? Slow his mind down. He backed away. Now I say, okay, good doggy. Then I get low, and if he wants to play, he will. Good doggy. Easy. Keep it simple. Don't complicate it. Don't let your brain complicate that. Good dog. If he went in there and he went into the garbage, what would I do? I'd pick up my leash and correct him. I personally don't let the dog in the kitchen. There's no reason for it. So this is how we love. And this is called balance. Balancing energy. You got to stop thinking so much. But you can't. You want to be bipolar. Allow him on the couch all of December. And then on Christmas there, he's back there. So he has this sense of entitlement. So you just got to reset him. You don't have to. You want him on the bed. But don't complain when he's harassing your guests. I'm going on my couch. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to have my food. Good dog. I get in trouble for this. Go to your place. Watch. We don't lure them in with food. You don't lure them in. Go to your place. Go to your place. Go to your place. Go to your place. Oh, my fault. Go to your place. End of story. And he's perfectly good in that crate. This is a good training session.